Oh my gosh, you will not believe how many times I've been trying to film this video. I keep getting interrupted by phone calls, text messages, ambulances, all this stuff. So I don't know what's going on with this person's energy, but this person does not want to be read on. So let's do this very quickly. So today, look, another message. So today I'm actually going to read on Miss Nancy Pelosi. This request has been in the making for a little bit, and this person's request is very specific. So they want to know if Nancy Pelosi will step down from her position like Colin Powell did. And this person said the same thing happened when there was a Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node transit. So they're wondering if the same thing will happen with Nancy. So let's get into it very quickly. Okay, so first, because Miss Nancy, I don't know what's going on with her, but she does not want me to read her. First, let's just look at her energy right now. And then I'll get into some more specific questions. And then go from there. Let's see. Miss Nancy Pelosi. Nancy. What are your energy? What's your energy now, Nancy? Interesting. Okay, so Nancy, she's an Aries, right? So this Aries is here, but normally she has mostly shown up for me as Queen of Pentacles, which actually is the same as Kamala Harris. And actually, now that I think about it, they actually shared these two together. So let's see. So her energy on the surface is pretty good. She feels confident as always. Like her or hate her, Republican, Democrat, or whatever, she gets work done. Whether or not we agree with this work is up to our own ideals. But no, her energy is fine. Actually, let's get a clarification on the bottom row. Look at that. No, her energy is great, guys. her energy is great, and this bottom row is actually showing that she is moving away from turbulent times, and she's going to be victorious in something, some legislation. Actually, because I googled her right before I started filming this, I think I saw that Republicans were challenging her voting rule for the House, I believe, and the Supreme Court rejected to read it. So I think this is what this is. So the Six of Wands is the card of victory. It's a very nice card, but many times it's kind of like a temporary energy. The Sun is much better, but this just tells me that some blockage that she was facing, it's now out of her way, and she's going towards calmer waters. And I feel like from now until the midterms, she's going to be more successful with pushing her plans ahead. And I also feel like this has a little bit to deal with the end of Venus retrograde, because you see a lot of money here, and the ending of Mercury and Mercury retrograde. So no, her energy is great. She's starting new projects. She's balanced in her opposition and defensive energy. She's in control, blah blah blah. Her energy is fine. So let's get to the juicy questions now. Okay, so this person's question is whether or not see, look at this. Here goes Trump. Why? He always shows up. So let me tell you guys this really quickly. So some of you know that I've been reading on forums, Discord, whatever, for years actually. And when Trump was still in office, it's almost like people were asking me to read on him for like every day, definitely multiple times a week at least. But right around the time that he was diagnosed with COVID, oh, and look at this, diagnosed with COVID back in October of 2020, I read for him back then, and he actually was, I felt that he actually was on his deathbed, but I didn't think that what was happening was COVID. He had COVID in the springtime. But for whatever reason, my guys just didn't want me to read on him anymore. So I couldn't really pick up on him. So it's interesting, very interesting that since November, December, he's just been popping up all the time, just saying hello. So listen, I think he's going to make a comeback. Whether or not he's going to be our next president, don't know. Definitely going to make a comeback of some sort. So anyway, the person's question was, will Nancy step down? I'm going to change this question around a little bit because from my vantage point, there are many ways, there are many paths to how she could leave her position. One being stepping down, of course, but Nancy loves power, so I don't think she's just going to step down. So she could step down due to some scandal or health or whatever, so I'll definitely ask that. Actually, let me put the cards down. I'll put them down. I'll put them down this way. So she could step down due to some scandal or sickness or whatever, but she could also step down due to losing the house. She could also step down, heaven forbid something happens to Biden and she is raised to being the VP. And what's the other way? I won't ask the other way because that's pretty rude. All right, so let's see what these cards are. Interesting. So this one here of stepping down due to some sort of sickness or scandal, I got the High Priestess. Listen, I don't think Nancy wants to be read. I kind of don't think my guides want me to read, because when I get this card, my guides, my spirit team, they're telling me to shut the hell up, okay? I don't think she's going to become VP, by the way. I don't think so. This losing the house, so this King of Pentacles is normally, what's his name? McConnell? Yeah, Mitch McConnell. So listen, this is the fact that he's showing up in her reading. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. So there are at least two ways that she could leave her position, either by losing the house or like health or some sort of scandal where she just has to go. And Mitch McConnell is here. So, and what I find funny about Mitch and Nancy Pelosi's cards is that they're technically like a match made in heaven when it comes to energy. So make of that what you will. All right, let's go to the next topic. Okay, so now I know that she's embroiled in a scandal. It's not really a big scandal according to the news, but it actually should be. So she's been accused of insider trading. And I think recently she said that she's going to actually consider a ban on congressmen trading stock or something like that. So let's see what's going to happen with that. Now, this is a very interesting spread. So I know I say interesting a lot, but this stuff really does tickle me, especially when I think about politicians trying to get away with BS. So the top row is just Nancy's energy regarding this insider trading stuff. Yeah, people are working on legislation. She's been caught. She's definitely been caught, and she feels like a little bit ostracized outside of the circle. I mean, obviously she's not outside of the circle, like she basically is the circle, but she does feel a little bit caught out there, and you know, kind of. I mean, when it comes to this particular issue, her energy is not that high. That's all I have to say. I don't think she has any depression issues. She could have some drinking issues. Actually, I do see a lot of drinking here, but this is actually weighing very heavy on her. I think Dianne Feinstein was going through the same thing, and then in 2020, when all those very lovely committee members who knew about the virus long before the American public did, and they sold and bought their stock. Yeah. That's the same vibe that she's giving me right now. Now, when I asked if she's going to approve or actually do anything with a ban on congressmen or congress members buying stocks, trading, whatever, that's still up in the air. And I feel like even if she does bring something to the floor, it's going to be maneuvered in such a way where family members will be able to do this on their behalf. So it's like, you know, it could happen, but it's not like it matters. It's not going to change much of anything, really. It's just going to make it easier for them to make money on the taxpayer's dime. And then here, I asked if she's going to be face any repercussions or be reprimanded for what she's been doing with the insider trading stuff, and I get sort of like a conflicting answer. So it's like a yes, but I feel like there's a lot of infighting within people in the House. So on her side, on the Democratic side, there's just a lot of infighting for what they want to do. But I feel like, you know, if they even punish her, it's not really going to be that bad, at least not right now. If they find something else, maybe. But right now, not really. You know, she has great cards, even though it's surrounded by all of this stuff. Her cards are mostly great. All right, let's go to the next one. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all that money. Look at all that money. This came out, and then here, because she is a fire sign. I'm pretty sure she's an Aries, but here, fire sign, lots of money, ego. The ego, man, the ego of these people. Okay, so I actually became quite interested in this. Like, how does Nancy Pelosi and what's her name, AOC, Alexandria Cortez, I just want to know, what's their relationship like really, you know, and not what we see in the public eye. So let's see. Interesting. I say interesting all the freaking time. So, it looks like with Nancy. So I feel like AOC has more, I mean, it's not overly negative, but AOC has like, they're both not really warm to each other, but at least with Nancy, like some days it's like, oh, I really can't stand this chick, and other days, like, it's almost like she's proud of her at the same time. Whereas with AOC, she's kind of like, take it or leave it. And I think actually right now they're pretty much in a good place, but like towards the end of this year, so I really wonder if Democrats are going to lose the House after midterms. But towards the end of this year, it's cold as hell. It's going to be cold as hell. And this Queen of Swords is typically my card for people who've been blocked, people who put up boundaries, who ice other folks out. So I think towards the end of this year, or potentially towards the end of Nancy's term as Speaker of the House, they're probably not even going to be speaking, to be quite honest. So it's not as rife with drama as people assume it would be, but it's also, it's not really like lovey-dovey. And I'm actually surprised that there's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of positivity on Nancy's side, whereas AOC, she's sort of like, nah. All right, I'm going to ask one final question and then we'll be done with Nancy. Okay, so I'm very curious about this year's midterm elections. So they're going to be held on November 8th, and it's really early to ask this question, but I'm really curious because it seems like, it's kind of seems like the Republicans may take over again, and I just saw this, man. It kind of looks like Republicans may take over. So I'm just going to ask Nancy, how does she feel about the Democrats' odds for doing well during this year's midterms right now? Like, what are her feelings right now? Okay. So. So, actually, let's line this up. So it looks like, well, she's not that confident. At this point, she's not that confident, but she's making sure to hold back her feelings and her real opinions right now. Obviously, that makes sense. You don't really want to show weakness. So, for one, she does not like the infighting. She doesn't like the way that they communicate with each other. And by they, I'm talking about Democrats in the House. She does not like the way that they communicate with each other. She kind of thinks that a lot of them are children. I wouldn't be surprised if she thinks that they're her children, and maybe that's one of the reasons why one of her cards was so positive towards AOC, whereas AOC was kind of like, okay, girl. But she does feel like they're children. They're children and they're fighting, and I have to get them in line. And another thing she's worried about, donations. She's worried about funding. Like, seriously, this is, obviously she's worried about getting people together, getting the messaging right, stop being contradictory, all this stuff, but she's mostly worried about funding here. Funding. This is the card of a generous benefactor. She's worried about the money, honey. So I asked if Democrats, I asked what does she think? If Democrats will hold the House, she has confidence in that. She definitely has confidence that Democrats will hold the House. But look here, she's worried. She's still worried about Republicans. She thinks that they may have a comeback. So I don't know, she's very measured. Her energy, I mean, I don't know, people watching this, how many of the celebrity videos that you guys have seen, but her energy is very concise, it's very powerful, and I feel like she has control over her energy. So she's doing some funny stuff here, I think. So yes, she's confident. She's actually confident that Democrats can hold the House, but she's still worried about Republicans making a comeback. She's definitely worried about that. When asked about the Senate, however, she's worried about the money. She's worried about donations. That's mostly what she's worried about. And this person here for Republicans, normally this is Joe Biden, but I'm not sure if this is what's his name? Oh my gosh, how am I forgetting this? Chuck Schumer. I don't know when his birthday is, if he's a Pisces or something like that, but he comes up here, so I don't think she's as confident with him, which, why would she be? But anyway, I don't think she's as confident about the Senate. And even though she's worried about the Republicans, she still feels like she can get things together. But I think it's because she's in control of the House that she feels that way. But when it comes to the Senate, she's not that confident. She's worried about money, and I think she's worried about Chuck Schumer raising enough money. So when the time gets closer, I will definitely look more at midterms, and then probably by the end of this year, I'll look at the 2024 runs, because the campaign should be starting next year. But the closer we get to it, the better the energies will be, because all this right here, these are just Nancy's opinions. It's not actually what may happen, you know? So, yep, that's it. All right, everybody. Oh my gosh, I feel like this has been the most difficult reading I've done on this channel, quite honestly. And Nancy, she's a very simple, straightforward person, but she holds her energy back. Seriously, I pretty much had to dig for this with cards. But either way, I hope you guys liked it. I hope you gleaned something from it, especially for the person who specifically requested if she's going to be stepping down. I hope that you got something out of those cards. If not, I can try again at a later date. But again, or as usual, if you would like a personal reading, you can reach me at www.tarotbymoko.com. I will leave a link in the description box, as well as the comment box or the comment section below. I think I'm going to keep up the New Year, New Me readings until spring. But yeah, so I have all kinds of readings there. I have the New Year, New Me, a bunch of love readings, personal development, as well as psychic development. And not only that, if you feel like you've been rooted or cursed or hexed, I have a reading for that as well. So again, reach me at www.tarotbymoko.com. Follow me on Instagram as well. I do full moon readings there and tarot scopes every single week. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next week. Peace.